I'm going to show you how I completely replaced the business analyst, a solution architect, and a project manager inside Jira using a fully automated n8n plus AI pipeline. And it works every single time. So here's the flow. You upload one discovery document into Google Drive and the system takes over. It extracts the requirements with zero guessworks and converts them into clean user stories and acceptance criteria. It will then create all of the Jira tickets, generate the technical solutions, updates your spreadsheets, and even sets the priority and start dates automatically. This is all driven by a multi-AI agent setup, which means no BA, no solution architect, no PM. It's just one workflow that does the entire job faster and more consistently than a team. Hi, I'm Chris, a solution architect who builds AI workflows so you don't have to. And this is easily one of the most powerful end-to-end automations I've built. Stick around, I'm about to walk you through the exact pipeline so you can start using it too. Alright, let's do a demo. When I hit execute, the entire automation kicks into gear instantly. First, n8n checks the Google Drive discovery folder and grabs the latest document you just dropped in. It pulls the full text from that Google Doc, sends it to the requirements agent, and extracts a clean list of actionable requirements. Each one of these gets split out and passed to the BA AI agent, which then turns them into polished user stories and acceptance criteria. From there, n8n creates the Jira tickets automatically and logs everything into our requirements spreadsheet. Then, the solution architect AI agent jumps in, reads the ticket, and generates a proposed solution which is merged both back into Jira and your Google spreadsheet. After that, the project manager AI agent reviews the updated tickets, decides the priority and assigns start dates, and the final Jira ticket node locks everything in. So by the time your workflow finishes, you've gone from a raw discovery document to fully structured stories, technical solutions, priorities, and start dates. Your entire business analyst, solution architect, and project manager workflow is handled by AI inside of n8n, all from one click. So let's look at how we build this. Before we jump into the fun stuff, we need the core connections in place. And once you have those set up, you won't need to touch them again. First, you'll create a dedicated Google Drive folder to store all of your discovery meeting notes. This is the trigger point where the whole workflow will begin. Alright, so the first node we're setting up is the Google Drive search node. This is what lets the whole workflow know when you've dropped a new discovery file into your folder. Once you add the node, select File and Folder Search as the resource. Then select Return All so it grabs every file inside that folder. The important part is to make sure you're selecting the correct folder. Once it's added, this node will always return the latest file you've uploaded and becomes the starting point for everything else in the pipeline. Super simple, but absolutely critical. Without this node, the rest of the automation never starts. Next, we'll set up Google Docs, the Get node. And this is where we actually pull the full text out of your discovery document. After you add the node, switch the operation to Get and make sure you select the correct document URL field. You simply pass in the file ID coming from the previous Google Drive search node. In most cases, it's as easy as typing JSON.id. Once that's in place, this node goes into your Google Docs, reads the entire file, and returns the full transcript and meeting notes as clean text. And that text is what our AI agent downstream uses to generate the requirements, user stories, and solutions. So making sure this node is connected properly is a big deal. Alright, so the next piece is the set node. And this is the one that gives you control over how many requirements the AI agent should extract. So when you drop in the set node, just create a new field called limit and set it to a number like 5. That tells the requirements agent to only return the top 5 requirements from the discovery meeting. You can set this higher or lower depending on how long your meeting notes are, but keeping it small at first makes everything easier to test. And here's the key part. This limit value gets injected straight into your AI agent's prompt, so you always get a predictable number of requirements back. No surprises, no overflowing, just a controlled list in that the rest of the pipeline can process cleanly. Now we get into the first real AI step, the requirements agent. And this is where the workflow starts acting like a proper business analyst. So when you drop this node, switch it to define prompt mode and paste in the system prompt that tells the AI exactly how to read your meeting notes and extract the requirements. The key is that this prompt should explain the format you want back. So here we're telling the AI to output a numbered list of requirements inside a JSON object called requirements. Then, in the main text field, you pass the actual meeting content from Google Docs using JSON.content. Make sure to turn on structured output parser and link the requirements schema node. This forces the AI to return clean, predictable JSON instead of freeform text. Once this node is set up, you've automated the first job, pulling real requirements out of the messy discovery and meeting notes. Alright, so once the requirements agent gives us the clean JSON list, we need to process each requirement one at a time. And that's exactly what the split up node handles. When you add it all you're doing is pointing to the field that contains the array of requirements, which in this workflow is output.requirements. That tells n8n, hey, take this list and turn it to separate items so each requirement can flow through to the BA agent, Jira creation, and every step after without the whole thing bunching together. There's no fancy things to configure, just set the field to split out the output.requirements, leave the options alone, and you're good. Now that the requirements are split out, we need to store it somewhere as the source of truth, and that's where the Google Sheets append node comes in. When you add this node, choose append as the operation and select your requirements spreadsheet, and then pick the Sheets tab you want to use. Usually it's Sheet 1 or whatever you've named it. In the column section, map the requirement field to the requirements coming in from the split out node, and then create a meeting ID field so you always know which discovery file the requirement came from. Pass that into the Google Drive search node using the search files and folders item.json.id. Add a last modified date using now, or a formatted version like now2 format. And that's it. Every requirement gets logged cleanly as its own row without overriding everything. This Google spreadsheet now becomes the backbone of the whole system, and once this node is set up, you've officially automated the first part of the BA workflow with zero manual typing. Alright, now we're stepping into the role of the business analyst, and this node transforms each raw requirement into a polished user story and acceptance criteria. So when you add the agent node, switch it to define prompt mode and paste in your BA system prompt, the one that explains how the AI should think, how it should format the user story, and how the acceptance criteria should be structured. Then in the main text field, pass in the requirements using JSON.requirement so the AI agent knows exactly what it's rewriting. Make sure the structured output parser is turned on and linked to your user story and acceptance schema node. This ensures that you always get clean JSON with fields like user story and acceptance criteria. After that, all you need to do is confirm the model, GPT 4.1 in my case, and leave the rest to defaults. Once this node is set in place, you've officially automated the BA's job. Now that the BA is generating clean user stories and acceptance criteria, we need to save them back to our requirements spreadsheet. And that's where the Google Sheets append or update node comes in. When you add it, choose append or update as your operation, select your requirements spreadsheet again, and point it to the same sheet tab. In the matching columns, choose requirements. This tells n8n to find the correct row for the requirements that we inserted earlier. Then in the values, map user story to the requirements.userstory and acceptance criteria to the requirements.acceptance criteria. Set the status field to new and update the last modified date using now2 format. Specify the format of the date that you wanted in. Once that's done, n8n will automatically merge the user story and acceptance criteria to the correct row for each requirement. This is the moment your spreadsheet turns into a living product backlog and updates instantly, accurately, and all powered by AI instead of having them manually update it. Alright, before we can start creating Jira tickets, we need to make sure that we're only sending items that are actually new. This is where the filter node comes in. So when you add it, set the left value to json.status, choose equals as the operator, and set the right value to new. That's it. So this node will check for incoming rows from your spreadsheet and only lets items with a status of new flow through to Jira. Now we're stepping into the actual creation of the Jira issues, and we're using the create Jira tickets node, which handles all of it automatically. So when you add this node, choose your Jira connection, set the operation to create and select the correct project and issue type, usually story for this workflow. Then map the summary field to JSON.requirements so that the title matches the original requirement. For the description, you'll combine the user story and acceptance criteria using something like JSON.story and then reference the JSON story, acceptance criteria, and reference the output of the acceptance criteria. You can leave most of the other fields as defaults unless you want some custom fields. Once this is set, every new requirement instantly becomes a fully structured Jira story and all the details are already in place. Once the Jira ticket is created, we need to update your requirements spreadsheet so it reflects the new state. And that's where the change to publish Google Sheets node comes in. Set the operation to append or update. Pick your requirements spreadsheet and the correct sheet tab. And in the matching column, select requirements so n8n updates the correct row. Then map the status to published, requirement to the incoming requirement value, and the issue key to the JSON.key coming from the Jira create node. Finally, update the last modified date using the now-to format. Once this runs, your sheet instantly shows the requirement as published with its corresponding Jira issue key linked. This keeps your spreadsheet and Jira perfectly in sync. Now we move into the solution architect stage. And this is where the AI actually designs the proposed solutions for each Jira ticket. So when you add the agent node, set it to define prompt mode and paste in your solution architect system prompt. This tells the AI to think like a senior Salesforce or technical architect, follow best practice, and return a clean, concise proposal. In the main text field, pass everything the agent needs: the issue key, the requirement, the user story, and the acceptance criteria. This is the context that lets the AI agent design a proper solution, not a generic guess. Then enable the structured output parser and link it to the proposed solution schema, which ensures that the AI always returns a JSON object containing the issue key and the proposed solution. Leave the model as GPT 4.1 and keep the rest of the defaults. Once this node is set up, the workflow officially replaces the solution architect role. Every ticket gets a clear structured solution automatically written by AI. Before we merge the proposed solution back into Jira, we need to update the most up-to-date version of the ticket, and that's exactly what the Get Jira Issue node does. When you add it, set the operation to get, and in the issue key field, pass in the key from the previous sheet update. So it's usually something like JSON.key. This tells n8n to go and grab the exact ticket we just created. So we have all the current fields, including the description that contains the user story and the acceptance criteria. There's nothing else to configure unless you want more fields, so the default works perfectly. Now that we have the updated Jira issues, we can merge the proposed solution into it using the Update Jira Issue node. Set the operation to update, and in the issue key field, pass JSON.key. In the update fields, replace the description with the existing description, usually JSON.fields.description, and then append the proposed solution right under it using JSON.output.proposedsolution. This gives you a clean, rich Jira ticket and the user story and acceptance criteria with a fully written solution all in the one place. Then set the status to whatever stage you want next, typically something like ready to develop. Once you save that, the solution is officially part of the Jira issue. Once the proposed solution has been added to the Jira ticket, we need to sync the information back to our requirements spreadsheet. That's where the Update Proposed Solution Google Sheet node comes in. Set the operation to append or update, select your requirements spreadsheet, and select the correct sheet tab. And in the matching column, choose Issue Key so the workflow updates the exact row tied to the Jira ticket. Then map the proposed solution to the output.proposedsolution. Set the status to ready for develop and update it with the last modified date using now.to format. Once this node runs, your sheet stays perfectly aligned to Jira. Now we move into the final stage of the pipeline, the project manager part. And these next three nodes work together to review each Jira ticket, set the right priority, and assign a start date automatically. First, we use the Get Jira Issue again. Set it to get and pass in the updated issue key from your previous sheet update. So we're always grabbing the fully enriched ticket that already has the user story, acceptance criteria, and proposed solution inside it. Then we feed that into the Project Manager AI Agent node. Here you paste in your PM system prompt telling the AI agent to act like a real project manager, review the ticket, decide the priority, choose the start date, and return those values in a clean JSON structure. In the text field, pass the issue's key and full description using json.key and fields.description. So the agent now has all of the context it needs to make the right call. Turn on the structured output parser to guarantee you get the fields like priority and start date back every time. And finally, we plug those results into the update priority Jira node. Set it to update and map the priority field to the value from the PM agent and map the start date using json.startDate. When we run that, Jira gets the final update. Each Jira ticket receives a priority and a start date without you having to touch anything. And lastly, I've manually assigned my own user to the assignee so that all the tickets will be assigned to me. And that's it. This 3-node sequence replaces the entire PM workflow with AI that never sleeps. Your BA, your solution architect, and your project manager have all been replaced by one end-to-end automation powered by n8n and AI. If you want to copy this exact workflow, all the nodes and all the prompts, they're inside my automation vault completely free. Links in the bio. So hit subscribe if you want more builds like this and grab everything from the vault so you can start automating your entire Jira workflow today.